All right, I'd like to call the council meeting December 15th, 2015 to order. If we will all stand, please. Dr. Royce Measures, civic leader, will give us the invocation. Councilmember Sammy Casados will lead us in the pledge.
Would you join me as we pray? Our Father, as we observe the chaos your fallen creatures have done to the perfect world you made, wars, terrorism, broken families, broken relationships, poverty, hopelessness, perversions. Father, we thank you there is an abiding, a living, indestructible hope that evil cannot destroy. And the basis of this hope is the resurrected Christ whose birthday we will soon celebrate. Because he lives, we can live with peace, love, and undying hope in our lives. Thank you for this time of celebrating what is wholesome and uplifting and unifying. Thank you for living in a city that can still say Merry Christmas and combines without apology the sacred with the secular. May it be a time of family, togetherness, and renewal of faith in the past, the present, and in the future. Tonight, Father, as this council and mayor and council and citizens gather in this hallowed chamber to transact the necessary business of Pasadena, I invoke your blessings upon each of them and upon their dear families. Grant our elected leaders wisdom and discernment as to important decisions as they are made. May all that is said and done here tonight honor your holy name and enrich this fine city. Father, we want to thank you again for the first responders and how they not only give us a sense of security, but, Father, a sense of pride and dignity. May all those present here tonight and those who view on television see that this city has sterling character as leaders, and they acknowledge your gracious blessings. In Jesus' name, I pray these things. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, Sammy?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, I got flustered. Excuse me. But no, everybody, thank you for coming out. We got some good things going on in the neighborhood in District C. I'd like to thank I'm sorry. Yeah, Santa Claus for coming out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pass because I'm really messing up, so forgive me.
Welcome to my world. Councilmember Wheeler.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start off by giving a thanks to a local union, the insulators and asbestos workers. They about 2 years ago, they bought a location here on Wichita Street in Pasadena, and it just so happens that's where Sarah's House was at. And, you know, as y'all know, Sarah's House is an organization that houses homeless women and children. And they were in the process of moving buildings, Sarah's House was. And as a result, the local insulators allowed Sarah's House to house these women and children for 18 months rent-free until they're able to find some place to go. So I want to give a congratulations and thank you to the local insulators. Also, you know, Christmas is coming up. I just want to tell everyone Merry Christmas and hope they have a good time with their families and loved ones.
Councilmember Bass.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring. And I forget the rest, but I think it was a mouse. So anyway, Merry Christmas to y'all. Thank y'all for coming out tonight.
Councilmember Wagner.
I have to follow that. My goodness. Thank y'all for enjoying that as well as I did. First of all, it's my wife's birthday tonight, so I must say happy birthday to Jenny.
Oh, really?
Yes. And also Merry Christmas to everybody. With that, I'll pass, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Van Hout.
Well, we've got a lot of Christmas activities around the city, and I covered enough of them last week. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris.
talk loud, how about that? But yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone, and congratulations to the First Baptist Christian Academy. They had their groundbreaking today for their new school, and just best wishes for them. And one other thing I'd like to do, just a special thanks to our video operators. Y'all can get each other on camera right now, okay? But they are students at the Kirk Lewis Career and Technical Center. So thank you all for being here, and I believe when I was talking to Principal Steve Fleming last, that y'all get a day off for doing this volunteer work. So y'all go by his office and tell him thank you for that, okay? With that, I pass.
Councilmember Ronaldo Ybarra.
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll pass my-
Councilmember Bruce Lehman.
I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'd like to mention there's a new business open today. It's called Nothing Bunt Cakes. All they have is bunt cakes, and they're located at Beltway 8 in Crenshaw. And take it from me, it's good. Thank you.
The bunt cakes are good, huh?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay, as has been said already, we'd like to thank the Career and Technical High School for the two camera ladies here. We don't do any close-ups, so but thank you for coming out and helping us tonight. As has been said, I hope each and every one of you have a very Merry Christmas and a safe New Year's, because our next meeting won't be till after New Year's. We're going to wait a year. It's going to be a year before we have our next meeting. Everybody agree with that? That sounds good. But again, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. Okay, gets us down to docketed City Council hearing, which is the wine and beer retailers off-premise permit.
Citizens wishing to
Oh, I'm
address.
sorry.
Mayor.
Yeah, we did have two citizens. You're right. James Marinos. I'm sorry, John. Just concentrate on the last name. John ought to be familiar to me.
I just want to say something about the water fees. An observation and a request. First of all, it's nice that this is the only utility that gives a discount to senior citizens, a $10 discount. It just means that the rest of the citizens, the working people, families and what all, do cover the rest of the bill. I mean, somebody has to pay for the water. And I know some of those families, people that I know who know kids, don't expect to see Social Security or anything. So it's, I mean, I see both sides of giving a discount and not giving a discount. It's just an observation I'm making, but probably the bigger thing that brought me down here is the fact that if I'm paying my bill and I walk into the city building here and paying cash, I'm paying my water bill. It includes overhead, which includes salaries. That's fine. If I mail it in, I mail in a check, same thing. Somebody has to process my check and deposit it and note in the computer that it was paid, the bill was paid. If I pay it online, which is what I usually do, I get charged a fee. Now, I understand that's a processing fee that the processor charges. Anyway, he would charge you, any store would do the same thing. Other utilities just absorb that cost as part of their overhead. Here I'm paying my water bill, I'm paying for the overhead of salaries of people that are at the window or taking care of the mail, but I'm not using those services. I'm just using your online service, and actually that's really probably saving money in the area of having employees. I just ask that you consider either eliminating the fee, which I believe is 4%, or maybe just increasing I know you're going to increase the water rates coming up anyways, but increase it and absorb that cost as part of the overhead. That's just a suggestion on my part. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Larry Peacock.
Merry Christmas.
Hope everybody has some good holidays. I've enjoyed some, and everybody come back next year for our next meeting, right? Right, a year from now, and come back safe. This Friday at the American Legion Hall, we're having the chicken or shrimp spaghetti. Y'all come out and support the American Legion because they do wonderful things out there. Like if you look at our resolutions tonight, Resolution E, there's we're going to try, they're giving a donation of $500 worth of teddy bear to traumatized children. These are just one small thing that this organization does. It's a good thing, a good organization. You guys come out and have a good dinner. I received an email this morning, and they were talking about some grants from the neighborhood networks, $5,500 that went to the Taylor Lake Shores Association over there. I didn't know that was part of Pasadena city limits. I don't think most of it, I thought, was different. I don't understand why they were getting such a large donation on that. Also, if this is not Pasadena city limits, is there other neighborhood associations that are split, so to speak? You know, there's part of it's Pasadena, part of it's not. If those monies or grants that this city donates for the neighborhoods, if Houston or somebody else, the city, is benefiting off this, I think we need to explore that and look into that and find out what's going on there, because I think $5,500 is not chump change. I think we need to really look that over. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, council, that gets us down to item 7 now, if I'm correct. I will open the hearing at this time for the wine and beer retailers off-premise permit for 623 Preston Avenue. Is there anyone here that would like to speak? If you would give us your name loud and clear over the mic there.
My name is Frederick Fewer. I'm an attorney down in League City. But I've got a client that I'm representing today by the name of, the corporate name is 623 Pasadena, Inc. They operate are going to be opening a business over at 623 Pasadena Boulevard. There was formerly a Valero station over there. And I'm going to hand to you, can I just pass this? A little article written about my client, and I'll tell you a little bit about my client and what we're trying to do here and why we believe that this this variant should be granted. My client is a mom and pop operation, basically. And what I mean by that is it's run by Sammy and Pretty Barani, who are originally from India, and they've come to the United States, and they've basically by themselves, them two alone. I mean, they have employees here and there, but they don't have any other partners. They don't have any other business interests, shareholders, that type of thing. It's them two. It's a 50% deal. Where they are operating now 155 convenience stores all over the country.
Wow.
Now, many of them are in fact, most of them are operated by corporate tenants or other mom and pop type tenants. But they have operated or been involved in the operation of at least 45 stores themselves. Mr. Bronny originally started off with Circle K and learned the convenience store business, saved some money, bought his first store, and then was able to turn that into 2 stores, which then turned into 4 stores, and you know how that goes. So they've been very involved, and many of those stores are in the state of Texas. 3 of them are in the city of Pasadena. The 623 location they bought from a charitable organization through the University of Texas, where all the proceeds from that sale went into a charity, and they bought it at a time when the UT had a shortfall in the budget. I think it was 2010, which, if you all remember, that wasn't a really good year in our economy. And they that bought the store, and Valero operated the store for a while, and unbeknownst to my clients, Valero has, and then Skipper Beverage actually is the one that had the license, but Skipper Beverage is just a subsidiary of Valero, one of their operating companies. They, for some reason, allowed the license that they had at this location to expire in 2009. And my clients weren't really sure on why that happened, but they bought the store, and Valero continued to operate it, and then Valero decided to leave earlier this year. And now my clients want to personally operate the store and bring it back to success. This store is, I think it's just down the street, not too far here, 623 Pasadena. It's right across from a school. I'm not familiar with what the name of the school is, but there's a school over there that apparently is 268 feet when you do the measurements. And of course, your city ordinance requires before an application can be approved for it to be 300 feet. They are looking for a 14% license. That means they're not going to sell liquor at the store. They're only interested in basically a beer license so that they can operate the store with some success. If you know much about the convenience store industry, a convenience store relies on, at least partially relies on the sale of beer in order to be successul. And they know this, and they have been very involved in the stores that they've been involved with over the years, to the degree that they know how the importance of this license for the success of business and for the success of the business in the community. But I want you to understand that Sammy and Purdy Barani are very capable operators. They have the experience operating stores. They also have the experience in operating hotels that serve alcohol. And in relation to the 45 stores that they've personally operated, in addition, they've got the 100 plus that they're the landlord on. Their leases, which I'm very much involved in, are very stringent, very strict with their tenant as to compliance with the law on the sale of alcohol, whether it be a law pertaining to the sale of alcohol to a minor or to an obviously intoxicated person, just the various laws that are out there. They're very familiar with these and have never had anything in their operation, no marks on their record with respect to the sale. I don't think somebody gets into this business and has the success they have where they're constantly being shut down by TABC or something like that. And more importantly, they kind of have a one strike and you're out policy with their tenants. Tenant violates the law, that's a violation of the lease, and they're out of there, and they're going to have to put somebody else in there that's going to comply with the law. And they haven't had problems with their tenants because they know my client takes the alcohol law seriously, and the fact that the alcohol provisions in the lease agreements need to be followed. Now, my clients want to operate the store. They want to bring it back to where it needs to be. I mean, Valero operated it for years. It's over there, you've probably seen it. It's behind some fences right now. It's not being operated. It's a good location on a good street here in your city that they want to have it become a thriving business again, and they're asking for this permit so that they can, or this permit so they can obtain the license. Let's talk a little bit about the location of it. The 268 feet, I went on to, today's technology, you can look on Google Earth and kind of see where everything is in relation to each other. And from what I can tell when I look at the picture, the store's on the corner, and the school, albeit it's across the street, the majority of what's across the street from the school is a large field. So we're not necessarily talking about a location where a large number of students congregate, where there's bus pickups, where there's student pickups. In fact, when you look at the layout of the school, the main areas of traffic that go into pickup and where the kids would congregate and the parents would congregate are pretty far distance from the school, so there's a very, very low likelihood that anybody would be over near the convenience store. Now, not to say we don't want anybody near the convenience store. The convenience store will be a safe place because, like I said before, my client takes its store operations very seriously. Also would like to address the fact that this store, obviously at some point, there had been and I haven't been able to find the record. I have been able to find the fact that there was a license in this location. There should be some type of grandfather effect here in the sense that what was good for a very capable tenant like Valero should also be good for a very capable operator such as my client, in the sense that somebody either granted a variance or maybe the laws were a little different at the time. I don't know what the specific reason was, but we've got a license that was expired and just wasn't renewed. Anybody's guess as to why that happened, but the prior landlord and the prior tenant apparently were in some type of dispute over future rents, and the tenant wasn't going to be too involved in the process anymore, so didn't care too much about making sure that license stayed active to keep that business going. In sum, my client is he's in fact, and I wanted to mention this, and the article may mention this. I know the article mostly talks about Mr. Bryony and his goals to help the communities that he's in. He's put a lot of people in business, and I call them mom and pop organizations, people that would not necessarily be able to buy property on their own, that would, and allowed them to run businesses. And he put a lot of his own money up and talked banks into loaning him a lot of money back in 2008 when he came up with this plan to help small businesses develop, because banks won't loan the businesses money. They won't convenience store business is not a priority on a lender's who we want to loan money to, because there's just, it's not necessarily a risky business, it's just that lenders have bigger projects that they want to be involved in. And Mr. Bronny became a lender, and his companies became a lender for many of these businesses and to continue to, so they could grow, and they buy, and then eventually what they do is they pay off the loans and they buy the property, and they, it's something they call their own, and they can be involved in their community and make contributions to the community themselves. And that was kind of his goal, was to make sure that local people that wanted to have a business had the opportunity to run the business in those neighborhoods that they lived in. So he wants to be a part of the Pasadena community, is a part of the Pasadena community. There's a store that Valero operates over in front of the HEB on Southmore, and then there's another store that Valero operates on the Beltway that are two of his tenants here in Pasadena. This store, like I said, he's going to operate, always looking for more locations and to help continue to provide an influx of additional tax revenues for the city. The article that I handed you, hopefully you'll have an opportunity to look through it and review it. When you're deliberating over this, you can take another look at it. It is an example of their vision and what they believe to be the right business model for themselves and for the people that operate the stores in these neighborhoods. And most importantly, what goes with that vision is that you have to follow the law. And the law, the alcohol laws are very serious. Everybody knows that they've gotten stricter over the years. I started practicing law 20 years ago, and the alcohol beverage code and the penal code have changed in 20 years like you can't imagine, as far as the limits that you have to be at to get charged with DWI have dropped, and the selling the alcohol to minors provisions have exploded in the code as far as the number of violations that you can have. They have kept up to date with all of this. They require all of their employees to take TABC employee training courses. They require them to continue to do that and to renew those things. They've taken them themselves. They have a whole lot of knowledge about this area because it is an area that will basically put you out of business. And Mr. Vrani and Mrs. Vrani don't want to go out of business, so they've taken this very seriously. Once again, my client seeks to operate this location with a 14% license. It's not a liquor license, it's just a beer and wine license. They need your approval for this variance to make this happen. They have the tools and knowledge, and most importantly, the history behind them in their own history, the way they handle things, to treat this variance and license as a privilege. They know it's not a right. They know that it's up to you whether you give it to them, but they'll treat it as a privilege, as something that could be lost if it's not taken care of. And my client, already an active member in Pasadena as a result of his other business interest here, would like to continue to grow that interest and continue to be a contributing member of the Pasadena Society. He brings a strong ethical work ethic, and I believe this license and granting of the variance would be a positive influence on, would help be a positive influence on the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else here that in the audience that would like to speak concerning this hearing? Anyone else here in the audience like to speak concerning the hearing? Third and final time, is there anyone else here in the audience that would like to speak concerning this hearing? There not being, hearing is hereby closed. Gets us down to item 8, which is Richard. Can Do Food Drive sponsors. Barbara?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching our awesome Channel 16, whether it's by TV, on the internet, however you watch us. I'm Barbara Sitzman, the volunteer manager with the City of Pasadena, and one of my other hats that I wear each year is chairman of the Can Do Food Drive. Tonight, I would like to thank Mr. Richard Scott, our Director of Community Relations, the absolutely best director in the city. Wanted to make sure y'all knew that.
He's the only one.
Comments. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Kirby Cardenas, Director of Parks and Recreation and Clean Streets. These two directors have worked hard and started our Can Do Food Drive 6 years ago. We have truly come a long way together. We collected 40,300 pounds in 2015, and this includes monetary donations. We collected 35,800 in 2014, so we continue to grow, make our goals, set our goals higher, and try to involve more community partners as we're going along. The 5 recipients of our Can Do Food Drive are Pasadena Community Ministries, First United Methodist Church Society of St. Stephen, Sarah's House, The Bridge, and Salvation Army. Each of these wonderful organizations serve the hungry as well as the needy. Thank you for serving and making a big difference all through the year. Tonight, it is my pleasure and honor to thank our major sponsors for another very successful Can Do Food Drive. On behalf of the City of Pasadena, the Can Do Food Drive team, I would like to present each of you with a certificate of appreciation, and that will be our major sponsors as well as our in-kind donors. So starting with the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce, we will start with Mr. Kerry Bass, who is the chairman of the board for our chamber. And we thank you, Kerry, and Christina and Jeanette and everyone with the chamber. We thank you very much.
That's why you're here tonight.
Next, we have Waste Management, Mr. Raymond Franks. He is the Public Sector's Solutions Manager for Southeast Texas. Next, we have, with it. Next, we have Kroger, and we have 3 managers who worked hard and helped us with this wonderful Can-Do food drive this year. One is not able to be here tonight. He's the Consumer Affairs Coordinator. I will make sure he gets his certificate later, and his name is Mr. Enrique Morales. But we do have 2 wonderful ones here with us tonight. We have Mr. Keith Borchet. Yes. There you go. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Darian Fletcher. I think I'm going to get him one picture. Thank you. And now, we would like to also thank Peter Piper Pizza. And that's a tongue twister. Say it 10 times really quick. And Barbara McKinney, she's the marketing manager. Next, we have Pasadena Loctite Storage. Pamela Kennedy is the manager, and she has her wonderful husband with her tonight, who's also with Loctite, and his name is Paul. And we have ETMC Jimmy Zednick, Director of Operations. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and your team as well. And yes, now we'd like to take that picture. Good.
Hang your picture down, Jack, as well.
And after this photo, everyone, keep looking at him, please. Thank you. We're going to get an individual picture with Kroger and the mayor and council. And if anyone else would like theirs for their company, just stand to the side and let me know. Otherwise, it'll just be Kroger.
Stay right where you are, Kroger.
Don't move, Kroger.
And then the next one is Pasadena Loctite Storage.
Sit down, Raymond.
Sit down, Raymond. Listen to him.
I got to offset the one that was in the paper this summer.
And Waste Management's next.
Is your performance evaluation coming up?
Thank you. Thank y'all.
You're welcome.
And next we have
Thank you.
ETMC. Okay. Peter Piper Pizza. Miss Barbara McKinney.
Anyone else
Thank
in
you,
the audience
council.
like your picture?
Thank you, major sponsors and in-kind sponsors. There are a few that were not able to make it tonight, so I want to make sure that we thank them as well. Pasadena Independent School District, Cindy Palmer, the Director of Community Relations. We thank her and her wonderful team so very much. They collected over 20,000 pounds of food this year, which was over half of what we totally collected, which is just awesome. Thank you. And also, we'd like to congratulate their champion school, Turner Elementary. They collected 2,846 pounds this year, and they have won the championship award to have the trophy at their school for 2 years in a row now. Congratulations. The other ones that I would like to thank tonight that are not here is John Cutshaw. He works at our golf course. He's a director there. Chick-fil-A, Savannah's Bakery, Pasadena Citizen, Salvation Army, Texan Plus, and United Rentals.
Wow.
Next, I would like to thank each one of our hardworking and determined Can Do Food Drive team members, especially Charles Ginzer with Clean Streets, Julie Wilson with Clean Streets, and Kathy Chumley, one of the best volunteers I know. Our city departments, PISD schools, Clean Streets, our police department, and fire department. And if I missed anyone, besides our residents, because I thank you also. Y'all participate each year too. I thank each and every one of you. It is truly a community effort, and the continued success is because of each one of you. We bring help, hope, and food where there is little or none. Thank you for being an important part of our Can Do Food Drive success. May you be blessed abundantly, and I want to wish you a safe and very blessed Christmas season and a prosperous 2016. Thank you all.
Thank you, Barbara. Gosh, thank you, and Kirby and Richard and all the volunteers, and especially the sponsors for all of your help. Y'all have done a great job with the Can Do Food Drive this year, and we're looking forward to next year. But a lot of people will have a meal now, you know, with that over 40,000 pounds that y'all raised. And I want to thank y'all for that. Okay, Council, it gets us down to the minutes of December 1st.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wheeler, second by Councilmember Lehman, that the minutes be approved. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Progress payments 13A through E.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Yubara.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Morrison. That the progress payments be approved. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Finance Resolution 2700.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Yubara.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Wheeler. That finance resolution be approved. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
All those, yes,
I'd like to abstain from anything regarding Bass and Mikey.
yes. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Personnel changes 15A and C.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Lehman, second by Councilmember Wheeler. Personnel changes be approved. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, gets down to Mayor's Report, final reading. You may read, Madam Secretary, 2015-165, 66, 67, and 68 on the consent agenda.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2015-165, commitment by Madison Jones Senior Center to Community Development Department for transportation services to elderly and/or disabled residents. Ordinance 2015-166, commitment by Public Works Department to Community Development Department for 2015 CDBG water line replacement. Ordinance 2015-167, approving release and transfer of terms between United States of America and the City of Pasadena from a 155-acre tract to a 280-acre tract owned by the city. Ordinance 2015-168, amending the Code of Ordinances at Chapter 24, Parks and Recreation, by amending Sections 2432, 2434, 2435, 1, and 2439.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Yubara,
Second.
second by Councilmember Casados. Couldn't hear there.
Sorry.
That ordinance 2015-165, 166, 167, and 168 pass on second and final reading. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Gets down to first reading for Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2015-170, increase in the salary structure by 2% and provide a pay increase of 2% of base salary for every full-time non-classified civilian employee and part-time non-classified civilian employee whose standard hours equal 20 or more, and increase the salary structure to 2% and provide a pay increase for every classified police officer of 2% of base salary effective for the payroll period beginning January 18, 2016.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Lehman.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Wheeler, that ordinance 2015-170 pass on first reading only. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
What that?
no, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Pat,
I want to be able to rebut, and he won't let me speak a second time, so you go ahead first.
do it. Excuse me. Do you have anything to say? You've got the floor, Councilmember. Go ahead.
This is for a 2% cost of living raise for all employees. From October last year to October this year, the consumer price index went up 0.2%, a tenth as much as the raise we're giving. The South Urban Index for large cities went up 0.4%. That's higher. But the Houston, Galveston, Brazoria area went down a tenth of a percent. This is an indication that the cost of living in this area actually went down. Now, you know, some things cost more, some things cost less. The explanation that I'm getting from people in the city is that this isn't really a cost of living. This is to offset. We did away with the Benny card that employees had to use for health expenses. And there were increases in the cost of health insurance. Well, the reason for doing away with the Benny card and for the increases in the health insurance were because of what the insurance was costing the city. It was costing too much. We were trying to save some money. If we turn around and give people a raise to cover that, we haven't saved any money. And what we're looking at is with salaries, with all the side things, the FICA, the pension, the overtime, we're looking at $1.3 million a year that this will cost us. This is money that won't be available for capital improvements. Later, you're going to hear, we need bonds because we don't have any money to do anything. This is where some of the money is going. And the police just got a 5.73% raise. Now, that was intended to raise the starting pay to be ahead of other cities, and there were certain other issues that were intended to be targeted. However, what we did not target the particular problems in the pay structure that needed work. It was a blanket percent raise. And we're looking at them getting another raise. Also, when we're looking at this offsetting the health insurance and the Benny card was a set amount per person. We're looking at giving a percent raise, which means the people at the low end of the scale get a little bit, the people at the high end of the scale get a lot. Offsetting what is pretty much a standard payment. It's not an offset.
Councilman DeBarry?
Mayor, I just basically wanted to say is, look, city employees are the ones that do the job. A lot of times when there's issues and concerns that you, the constituent out there, has, we often call the city employees to take care of the issue, and they're often the ones that actually do the work, not the public officials up here. This item was a budgeted item that all this council voted on in October, so it was budgeted. Everybody knew about it. Everybody here unanimously voted for it. Surrounding cities gave their employees a 2 to 3%, depending on the city. Baytown, Pearland, League City, you name it. The surrounding cities did give a pay raise to their employees. The cost of living. Now, can this be called a salary adjustment? You can use different terms. We tend to use over the last several years, like COLA, cost of living, but it can actually be called different. A different term can be used for it. But this is just a way for us to also be competitive with other cities who are trying to take our employees away. But like I said, the employees are the ones that do the work, and basically they deserve to be taken care of. So with that, I'll pass it on.
Any further discussion?
Mayor.
Councilmember.
I just want to say that in regards to the
the police adjustment, I feel that's a market adjustment that happened in the past, and this 2% is just something that I think our police deserve it. They're under a lot of fire right now, and I don't think we can pay our police enough, especially when you call them at 2 o'clock in the morning. With that, I pass.
Agree. Any further discussion?
Mayor.
Councilmember.
In my almost 3 years on city council, I've come to realize that we have some of the best and hardest working city employees. And I think that these employees and our police department, for the work they do, I certainly appreciate it, and I'm glad that we're able to provide a pay increase for them. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Let me just say that I think I would like to ditto what Councilman Ybarra has said and Councilman Lehman. Our employees recently competed with other cities, running lawnmowers, weed eaters, and everything like that. We beat out all the other cities. This is our 6th time to win this award, 6th straight year. Our employees are what make up this city. I mean, they take care of the citizens, and they do an excellent job. And a 2% pay increase is certainly not out of line, and I certainly support this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Councilman Van Houten votes no. Motion passes. Gets down to item B, Madam Secretary.
Ordinance 2015-171, purchase of a stop-loss insurance policy for individual and aggregate stop-loss insurance coverages for 2016.
Motion by Councilmember Ybarra,
Second.
second by Councilmember Lehman, that ordinance 2015-171 pass on first reading only. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance 2015-172, contract with S&B Infrastructure LTD for design services for the Scarborough Lane and W. Jackson Avenue 12-inch water line project, appropriating $300,000.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Ybarra, second by Councilmember Wheeler, that ordinance 2015-172 pass on first reading only. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance 2015-173, service agreement with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for annual maintenance and repairs to the dispatch center and 4 towers located at 1201 Davis, 1114 Jeff Ginn, 7601 Red Bluff, and the mobile radio tower located on 3124 Red Bluff.
Motion by Councilmember Morrison, second by Councilmember Wheeler, that ordinance 2015-173 pass on first reading only. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance 2015-174, amend ordinance number 9229 by amending the employee handbook in numerous sections as reflected on the attached exhibit.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Ybarra,
Second.
second by Councilmember Casados, that ordinance 2015-174 pass on first reading only. Is there any discussion? All, was that a murmur or mayor? Mayor? Okay, Councilmember.
There's got to be one in every crowd.
Yeah, on every council.
I had quite a few questions on this. The questions have not all been answered. Some have been partially answered. There should be some typos fixed. There's some other things that need to be tweaked within this. I am not satisfied with the document as it stands, but I'm willing to let it go on first vote. And I'll be looking for some changes to agree with it next time.
Any further discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember.
I do want to thank your staff, some certain council members up here, put in a lot of time and effort on certain section of this handbook that pertains to retiree health insurance. There was a good compromise as far as taking care of retirees, and with that, I'm happy with this thing, and I can support that. I'll pass it.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mayor.
Councilmember.
Yes, I'd also like to thank everybody in the administration up here for working together on this thing. It's really for the best interest of the Pasadena employee. There are some things possibly that we can maybe amend later in a certain date, which Ms. Van Hout was talking about, but I think overall it's a good compromise, and it helps the city out, it helps the employee out, and I think it's a great thing. If you don't mind, Mayor, getting back to the 2% increase, I support that. I mean, the police deserve it, and the city employee deserves it. They're getting a good insurance benefit here, as well as a 2% pay increase. And we need to support our employees, and like I said, they've got my back. So with that, I'll pass.
Thank you. Couldn't agree more. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Gets down to F. Madam Secretary.
Okay. Ordinance 2015-175, granting franchise to HSC Pipeline Partnership LLC for 8-inch pipeline carrying propane, butane, isobutane, and other liquid and liquefied petroleum products.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wheeler.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lehman, that ordinance 2015-175 pass on first reading only. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Gets down to resolutions, Madam Secretary.
Resolution 2015-115, donation of 4 gift cards with a total value $120 from HEB for the 2015 Christmas tree lighting event.
Motion by Councilmember Morrison,
Second.
second by Councilmember Van Hout. What number was that?
115.
115? The resolution 2015-115 be adopted as it was read. Is there any discussion?
Yeah.
Councilmember.
Yeah, I'd like to say, thank you to HEB for that donation. But Richard Scott, thank you for spearheading that, how you do every year. And thanks to all those, basically the students that were involved in this program, and just all that put together is an enjoyable evening.
And nice weather.
Yeah, and nice weather. So,
I don't know how you did that, Richard, but you did good. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-116, donation of $4,500 from Pasadena Bay Area Junior Forum to purchase a stationary bike for the multipurpose center.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wheeler,
Second.
second by Councilmember Casados, that resolution 2015-116 be adopted as it was read. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-117, donation of $1,000 from ABC Dentistry, Pasadena for the 2015 Christmas tree lighting event.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wheeler,
Second.
second by Councilmember Lehman, that resolution 2015-117 pass as it was read. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-118, approving public auction for the sale of abandoned and confiscated vehicles and surplus city vehicles and equipment to be held on the following Saturdays in 2016: January 23rd, March 19th, May 21st, July 16th, September 17th, and November 19th.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Casados.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Wheeler, that resolution 2015-118 be adopted as it was read. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-119, donation of stuffed teddy bears valued at $500 from the American Legion to be given to children who are victims of traumatic events.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember
Second.
Bass, second by Councilmember Wheeler, that resolution 2015-119 be adopted as it was read. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2015-120, donation of a United States flag in honor of and on behalf of Cynthia Clausen Smith from an anonymous donor.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wheeler, second by Councilmember Wagner. Okay, that resolution 2015-120 be adopted as it was read. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember.
I just want to say thank you to Cynthia Clausen. She's a long-term District A resident, and thank you for the flag. That'll pass.
Really? Good. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thanks, council.